Hello and welcome to this video for Rahu's transit through Ashlesha Nakshatra. Rahu will be transiting Ashlesha Nakshatra from the 1st of December 2017 all the way through to the 24th to the 25th of September 2018. Which day that falls on depends upon where you live on the planet. What are you perhaps most afraid of? What do you feel you're being pulled deeply towards, but in a manner that you're not really so sure if you want to go there or not? Where is that happening in your life? What can you do about it? What do you need to do about it? That's what Rahu's transit through Ashlesha Nakshatra is going to bring to the surface for you. Rahu is a planet that gets us involved with things, and sometimes we don't even know that we're getting involved with it, and we don't know why. And sometimes when we get involved with it, we think that things are going to go one particular way, when instead they take a twist and a turn, and they go a completely different way, much like the way a serpent moves, isn't it? Ashlesha itself is also connected to serpents, right? And let's understand serpents. Traditionally, in the wisdom traditions, they're used to signify wisdom itself. They're used to signify potential. Kundalini energy is symbolized by the serpent. With both of those things, right, there's a double edge with it. One edge of that double-edged sword can be used to cut through the negativity that's in our lives, right? The other that's there can be used to create more negativity in our lives. Which way do you want that sword to go? How do you want your life to go with this process? You do have a choice. The Shakti that's connected to Ashlesha Nakshatra is the power to inflict with venom. And that sounds like something that's very intense, right? We don't want poison in our lives, right? And we can either see our lives as being poisonous. We can see our lives as being difficult. We can go, oh God, I did this in some previous lifetime, and now I've got this set of circumstances going on. Right? And you can bemoan your fate. You can say how horrible it is, and you can make your life really toxic and do absolutely nothing about it if you really want to. Or you can make a choice to do something about it, right? In that moment that you make that decision to do something about it, that is the moment that poison is no longer toxic. That is the moment that that little bit of something that seems toxic to you actually becomes medicine that transforms your situation into something completely different. Now, Rahu will be transiting obviously through a different area of each of our horoscopes. And so it's going to affect each of our lives in a completely different manner. So these changes will be taking place in different manners for each of us. If you'd like a little more insight in terms of how that might be affecting you personally, please do feel free to schedule an astrological service through the astrological services page of my website. So you're getting pulled into a process. What can you do? You can go along for the journey, right? But one part of you might be somewhat frightened of going along for that journey. Where is that journey going to take you? As a matter of fact, something used to feel very familiar to you, right? You don't want to go on that journey. You want to stick with what you used to know, right? You want to, but every time you go back to what you used to know that felt comfortable, you keep getting mesmerized by that other direction. It keeps pulling you on, pulling you in, entrancing you. Look into my eyes. That's what some serpents do. They entrance their victim, right? Are you a victim? Depends upon how you view this situation in your life, right? If you, again, just sit and bemoan your fate and talk about how terrible some area of your life is, then yeah, you're going to be living like a victim, right? You know why? Because the universe is trying to step in and bring a change and bring a transformation into your life, and you don't want to do it. So is the universe victimizing you? Has God singled you out for like some cruel, inhuman punishment? No. Let's face it, you're victimizing yourself, right? By hanging on to something that you can't really hang on to. Let's understand another aspect of serpents. Serpents tend to be somewhat reclusive. They go into holes, right? And they go into the deep, dark recesses. Now, Rahu may make things seemingly dark. That doesn't mean scary. Scary is all how we respond to that mask of dark. What it really means is we're going into the unknown recesses of our psyche, those things that we haven't given much attention to, those things that we've long ignored, and the things that we really need to pay a deep amount of attention to in order to reclaim our potential. So it's taking you into that seemingly dark area of your psyche, right? So that you reclaim yourself, so that you find your potential. That's another aspect of Ashlesha Nakshatra, potential. And how are you going to use that potential? How are we as humans using our potential here on the planet, right? We have all this technological potential. Are we using it to further helping the planet? Perhaps in some areas, but are we using it mainly in terms of destroying the planet and destroying ourselves, right? Making ourselves the victim. That's the grander scale of what's happening with Rahu and Ashlesha Nakshatra. Does that mean I'm preaching gloom and doom? No, I'm not. I'm just saying that humanity is being faced with the choice of how it wants to use what it's got available to it. You have a choice now to determine how you want to use what is available to you. Now, Rahu tends to take us into things, as I said, makes us not know why we're getting involved with it, that makes us not know why things are going a certain way. And there is also a certain unexpected aspect to Ashlesha Nakshatra too. So for some of this process, you may find yourself kind of sucked in and not really know what's going on in your life, right? When things get confusing, just stop. Remember this video, and remember that I'm telling you to kind of hit the pause button on your life. You can do that, hit the pause button on your life and take a look. Take a look at what's actually going on. And you might get a clearer perspective in terms of why this is happening to you. In that one moment, in that awakening, then the knowledge idea stands a chance to become wisdom. You have a chance to try that theory out. That theory may lead you down another dark alley. Down that dark alley, there's going to be another little tidbit of information. When you test that little tidbit of information out, sure, it may take you down another dark alley, right? And there'll be another tidbit of information. By the time Rahu's transit through Ashlesha Nakshatra is over with, you will have found the gem, which is hidden in the deep, dark recesses of the earth, that'll help you to recognize more deeply what it is that you need to do. But if, and only if, you face the situation with awareness. What else do serpents do? They shed their skin. Have you ever seen a serpent, right? You don't want to get near a serpent when it's shedding, right? And maybe it's good that serpents tend to become more reclusive when they are shedding. And it's similar in some areas of your life. You might need to withdraw to gain perspective. You might need to go inside of yourself. After all, Rahu is an outcast planet. And equally, Ashlesha Nakshatra is of the Chandala caste, right? So it too is somewhat outcast, right? So you may need to go into that reclusive area of your life. You may need to go inside of yourself in order to reclaim that gem of wisdom so you know what to do next. But when you begin to make the transformation, when you begin to shed your skin, look at pictures of a serpent if you have a chance of right after it shed its skin. It becomes very shiny, almost luminescent, right? And you too will become filled with light when that happens in one particular area of your life or another. So you're being faced with the dual-edged sword right now. Are you going to use what is happening in your life to your advantage, or are you going to be someone who bemoans your fate? Interestingly enough, there's something with each of the nakshatras, which is called the basis above, basis below, and a result of those two things. The basis above is kind of like what the universe is giving us as individuals, as humanity. The basis below is how we respond to that, right? And the result is the combination of those two things. The basis above with Ashlesha Nakshatra is approach of the serpent. When the serpent approaches, it's hypnotizing us. Sometimes we're frightened of it. So what do we do as a response? We tremble, we become agitated, we become nervous, right? How we respond with that nervousness, whether we begin to recognize that perhaps it's our own senses that are tricking us into thinking that this is something that we should fear, when in reality it's something that we should take advantage of. That's going to determine the next step. So basis above, approach of the serpent. Basis below, trembling or agitation. What happens as a result of that? Destruction of the victim. Now, that's what I was talking about earlier. You as an individual can either go, oh, I'm being singled out for some cruel, inhuman punishment, or you can get rid of that victim mentality. That also is destruction of the victim. And you can embrace the changes that are coming in, right? That's how this process is meant to be used. So in one area of your life or another, you have a tremendous opportunity right now, if you're only willing to face it with grace, dignity, and awareness. If you'd like a little bit of help with that personal process, I should mention that I do also offer several different levels of astrological service that are available through the astrological services page of my website. If you'll click, there we go, click on the link at the end of this video, it will take you to that page. That's going to do it for this look at Rahu's transit through Ashlesha Nakshatra from the 1st of December 2017 through the 24th to 25th of September 2018. Until next time, please do take the very best care of yourself. Bye now.